Hey, Amanda.
Hey. Do you have an intro?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel.
Tubers.
Okay, so this is our first kind of episode. I'm not really sure what this is going to be called, but I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I kind of talked about it in my last vlog. So if you watched it, this is it. This is the video.
This is it.
My first guest is Amanda Kamau. Woo!
Hey.
So I've known Amanda since I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to so we went to high school together, and now we're at the same college. And yeah, we can laugh together, we can be serious, we can talk about deep things. So I thought she'd be a perfect first guest. So today we're kind of going to be talking about friendships and the flow of friendships, what changes when you grow up from, starting in kindergarten and just everything about friends. And so I have my first question for you.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Do you have friends?
Funny you ask. Actually, I don't. I'm just kidding. I do have friends, yes.
Awesome.
Do you have friends?
Yeah, you're my friend.
Aw.
So do you remember your first friend that you ever had?
Yeah, I would say probably
Out of the womb.
my mom. Well, I guess siblings count as friends, but friend that's not related to me, I would say probably in second grade. Her name was Haley. We were, so in elementary school, I don't know if you relate to this, but you know how you we're in a different homeroom every single year?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I would always have a different friend every year, if that makes sense.
So you were just a friend hopper.
Exactly. I mean, how could I be loyal if I never got to see them? But I think the first friend that I made in homeroom that I kept even when we weren't in homeroom was probably I think it was second grade.
Do you even keep in touch with her?
No.
So you just have no idea what she's doing.
Well, we have each other on social media.
Well, Haley, if you're watching this, Amanda misses you.
Yeah. Hit me up.
I've had a lot of friends growing up, and my brother always makes fun of me for this because he'll be like, how many best friends do you have, girl? He always makes fun of me for this because I'm always like, oh, my best friend. He's like, okay, how many do you? Yeah. So.
No, that's a good point. And I feel like what you're saying, moving away has such a big impact on your friendships, especially when you're younger, because, I mean, at that age, we didn't have social media. I'm sure kids now would be able to keep in touch, but, I mean, you just, it's kind of one of those, at least for me, I felt like it was kind of situational. I wanted to stay in touch with them, but I moved away in 5th grade, and that school was K through 12. So if I had stayed, we probably still would have been friends.
Yeah,
but,
so it's funny, when I'm thinking about friendships, so why do I always bring this up? I did gymnastics.
I was about to ask about that.
So I did gymnastics. And
what level?
I went up to level 9.
Ooh.
So I quit when I was 14 because I went to boarding school where I met you. And it was a bittersweet feeling. I was happy to move on, I think, to doing stuff that I enjoyed more, because actually this goes really well with the friendship topic. But so in middle school, I was doing gymnastics 6 times a day for 4 hours a day, 6 times a week.
Oh, I was gonna say, how did you have time for school?
Yeah, so 6 times a day, No, 6 times a week.
4 hours a day.
6 times a day. Holy. 6 times a week. 6 times a week, 4 hours a day.
Got it.
So I was going through this cycle every single day. I had the same exact routine. Wake up, didn't want to go to school, go to school, come back, do homework for 20 minutes, tell my mom I did homework, but I did half of it. And then go to gymnastics and then come back at 9:30 and then repeat the same cycle. And I missed out on so much in middle school. I'd go to sleepovers on Friday nights with my friends. I'd get there at 9:45 and I'd leave at 7 o'clock in the morning because I had a 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. workout on Saturday for gymnastics when I was 11. And I was like, this is not the right thing to do. What am I doing?
That is funny.
But it really paid off because here I am, a professional gymnast.
Well, do you feel I don't know, was it like too much for you? Like as you got older, was it like harder? Like did it become less fun because of that?
Yeah, it just was so like mentally draining. Like you have so many mental blocks. You're kind of like battling yourself because basically if I had one fall or like one mistake or one bad kind of experience in gymnastics, and I'd be terrified, and in my head I'd keep repeating that, and I'd be like, well, I can't do this skill again. Like I messed up that one time and I almost broke my neck, so the next time, that's the end, so I can't do it again.
It'll be over after that.
And so yeah, it's just I'm happy that I quit, but also I was at that gym for like since I was 2 years old, and so from 2 to 14 that was my life. And so my friends, like my closest friends, I made at gymnastics because I spent so much time there. So I feel like that's what I missed out in school, that I wasn't able to connect as much. And I missed out on like teenage things.
Right.
Like I wouldn't go shopping with my friends or like
Those mall dates in middle school.
My gymnastics friends were my best friends. Our moms were friends. They would go out while we were at gymnastics. They would like knock on the window when they came back, and we were like
dance.
And
moms.
then our coaches would be like, "Baby honey, what are you doing?"
That's so funny.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, do you still keep in touch with those friends? Are you saying that you didn't make any friends in middle school, like at your actual school?
I keep in touch with a few friends from middle school, but the reason why I don't was because when they were developing in 8th grade, I feel like into like, I mean, you're 14, you're 14 years old, like you're a pre-teenager right there. Not pre, but like the start of being a teenager, 13, 14. And so like you're experiencing things, you maybe get boyfriends. Like I didn't have a boyfriend any of middle school. My friends had boyfriends. I didn't have my first kiss in middle school.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, and so I was missing out on those things because of my dedication to gymnastics. But with that came the friendships that I made there. And I still keep in touch with them till this day. And like our moms still hang out, and like those girls are like my sisters for life. So I have another question.
Go ahead.
What makes a good friendship?
Ooh, deep.
I know.
I think a lot of things make a good friendship. I think every friendship, like every good friendship, starts on some sort of connection that you have.
Right, yeah.
Like, this sounds really cliche, but it's almost like you don't know how to explain that feeling. You just like connect with that person, and
yeah,
it's like,
or it's like a similarity that
right,
yeah,
like all the friends that I consider my best friends to this day, like I'm a quiet person. Like I'm not someone who's gonna go out and be like, hey, do you want to be friends, like those 4-year-olds do at the park. But like I'm not surprised, but like there's just something, like for me I feel like it's usually humor. Like if we can connect on that level, like that opens a door to like a deeper friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But actually like maintaining that friendship, I think it's just like comes down to like support, like looking out for that person, and like being,
I feel like a consistent support though, because I feel like being a good friend means that you're consistent with your friendship.
Exactly.
And like I really look to that when I not when I'm finding a friend, I'm like putting flyers up, like a friend that is blah, blah, blah. But no, I like think about that. I'm like, is this friend, like, will they consistently be there for me? And one of the reasons why I wanted you to come today was because like our friendship, like we were in different groups in high school, but at one point in the same group and was living it up.
Just interesting memories.
I know. And then, college came, we were still in different groups, and, you had your boyfriend at the time, and, like, I was doing long distance, and, like, I feel like we were so, we were just focusing on different things, and we're in different sports, but because of what we believe is a good friend, like, those values is what has kept us, I think, friends. And, like, I always keep that in thought. I'm like, oh, like, Amanda's there. Like, Amanda's got me.
I'll always be here for you.
Yeah, like, you're here, girl.
No, that's a good point. Like, I feel like and I think this is really, like, any kind of relationship, but, like, like, that foundation, those qualities of just love and support of what we both agree makes good friendship, like, those can't go away if we're not like physically with each other, if we're not talking to each
Yeah.
other, like nothing bad happened between us. We're just going in different paths.
Mhm.
And even if, you know, I feel like we reconnected more this semester, but like
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
that didn't happen, like I would still consider you a friend. Like I would
Yeah.
still reach out to you, you know.
Yeah, and I think like the biggest way sometimes to connect with people is through empathy. And if you're able to relate at all to an experience they've been through, or I mean, both of us, you know, divorced parents,
Yeah.
international parents,
Mhm.
like being raised in,
First generation.
yeah, first generation
Mhm.
Americans, like that's something that we connect on.
Right.
And like we talk about that, and I'm able to like have empathy with what you talk about, and then you have it with me.
Right.
And like that's what I've been learning, I think, with like all of these issues that are coming up to the surface that have, you know, it's long overdue, but it's
Mhm.
coming up, which is the point. And the reason why I think we're all able to connect, even if we're different ethnicity, different color of our skin,
Mhm.
you know, whatever it may be, different gender, whatever it is, through empathy, I think we can all relate and
That's
we
true.
can like connect. And sometimes I feel like that's missing though in some people's like approach.
And that's something, I guess I've never really thought about that. Like, people usually kind of gravitate towards people who they relate to.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like, I do have friends that, you know, we have different...
I do have friends.
I do have friends that don't relate to me on some of the levels that we relate to.
Right.
But, you know, that doesn't mean I can't be friends with people, you know?
Mhm.
So just, like, that idea of empathy and understanding, and, like, that's not limited to,
Yeah.
you know, your race, your gender, your sexual orientation.
Exactly.
Um,
And so I was like talking to a mentor, kind of. Yeah, he's my mentor. Great guy. Over.
Give him a shout out.
I don't know if I can give his name, but
Okay.
anyways, a great mentor in my life, and I'm really grateful. And he was saying, like, we always think that friendships are defined by human beings, right? But in reality, like, a friendship could be a book, it could be a character, it can be a movie, like something that makes you feel valued or that makes you feel yourself, and like you connect to those things. And so like I think a lot of time maybe with loneliness or mental health, that kind of stuff, like comes with like that physical, that you need that physical to feel loved, or like to know that you have friends or that you are loved because of that. And I was like really shocked by that, because I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Like songs, like how you relate to songs, like
True.
everyone, when like, and people are like, how do you like this artist so much? Like, why do you like this person? I'm just like, they just get me. They don't know me, but they wrote that song for me.
They do.
And so like those kinds of things. And I think it's so important to think about that, because it makes, I think, feeling appreciated and feeling valued more than a human interaction, or the like a physical or just physical affection, or a physical friend.
Right. No, I agree with that for sure. And I feel like that can also speak to pets. Like, I've never had a pet, but the people I know who have pets, they love their pets. Like, their pets are their best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not the best person to speak on it, but, you know, pets are just so loving.
They are.
And I feel like that, and that's the, like...
I bet Bill and Pepsi are watching this. My dogs. Hey.
You have dogs?
Yeah.
I did not
They
know
live at my
that.
dad's house.
Aw,
Yeah, they're cute.
that's cute.
They
Are they
love me.
Yorkies?
No, one's a miniature schnauzer and one's a terrier.
Oh,
Bella's getting a little old. She's like, meh. Just like,
she's a little slow.
yeah, she's a
these
little
days.
slow.
Okay.
But when she wants to be quick for that treat, she'll get there.
She's zooming. That's funny.
Sorry, I like
What were
took
we
you
talking
out.
about? Oh yeah, the other friends that aren't
Yeah,
humans.
just not being defined by like a human being, I guess.
That's true.
Or friendship not being defined by a human being.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of goes to like finding yourself a little bit more. Like music,
Mhm.
any media really can help you like figure out like what makes you feel happy, what makes you
Yeah.
feel good. And I think that like friends represent that joy and that happiness, and so
Mhm.
you can find that joy and happiness in those other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously, if you feel like you don't have friends and you want friends, you can get friends. But if
Yeah,
it's
come to us.
okay if you don't want to hang out with people, that's okay. Listen to your music, read your book,
Mm-hmm.
cuddle with your pet. It'll be fine.
Exactly. That's the way to live.
Honestly, it is at this point.
I've been like, it's funny, like, the past 2 weeks I've been, I think it's so easy to be like, well, I have friends, but, like, why don't I feel this sense of love? Or, like, why don't I feel like I have that many friends?
I see.
And that's why I feel like, again, it's not quantity. It's not being like, I have this person, this person, this person, this person, oh, and this person. But, like, rather what they make you feel. And,
Facts.
yeah. And so a few days ago, and I mean, just the course of these 2 weeks, I was like, I have friends and I feel loved, but I feel like there's something missing. So, 2 weeks ago, I was feeling a sense of loneliness, and not because I didn't have friends. And I talked to you about this, and I was, like, really appreciative of the time we spent together, because it was, like, good quality time. Like, we'd work out together. We would eat lunch. We'd eat dinner. We'd talk about things.
Day.
True. The 3 snow days.
3 snow days.
Literally, our hike. Oh my
God.
gosh.
Insert clip. That's the other video.
But yeah, I was just like, why can't I feel it? And sometimes you block yourself, I think, from feeling people's love, because you create this in your head of, like, if they hang out with me, or if they hang out without me, they don't love me. If they do this, they don't love me. And it's like, there isn't a rule book of what friendship's supposed to look like.
True.
Like, literally, everyone's friendship is so different. But I think understanding where people are at in their friendships and how they can give is so important. If that person isn't in that same area of how you feel it, then, like, there's a disconnect. But, like, if you don't talk about it, then also you might not fix the issue.
Right.
And so that's, I think, what I was feeling, because I wasn't understanding where people were at and how they view friendship and how they view loving someone. And then I think once I got over that barrier in my own mind, then I was able to feel a sense of love and, like, completeness. And not completeness because I have, like, yay, my friends love me. But, like, within, I was like, okay, I got through this. It wasn't the circumstances changing. It wasn't the outer forces changing. Like, it was what I had to fix in my thought in order to feel this, like, drastic change, because I was like, I can't be living like this. Like, something's got to change.
That's funny. That's a really, really good point about how, like, figuring out how other people want to be loved, and depending on your friendship or your relationship with that person, communicating that.
Yes, but communication is key.
Say it louder.
People in the back.
So when I will not tell that story, but I will circle around it. Basically, I feel like, in my experience, when I feel the most lonely or unloved, that's when I know that I have to start giving more, because that sense of loneliness is just, it's about how you feel, right? It's not about how someone else is treating you.
Exactly.
Like, someone could be with you 24/7 and you can still feel lonely. And I've had experiences with my friends where they wanted something from me as a friend, and at that point I didn't feel like I could give it, and I felt guilty for that, because I feel like, I have to be that support system for that person. And in my opinion, that responsibility shouldn't really fall on someone. But in looking back, like, where I am now, like, I'm sure I could have given more, but I just feel like, as a friend, for anyone listening, like, as a friend, just don't, put such a burden on someone. Like, people are people. We can't expect them to be perfect.
I feel like the more natural you are with the people around you, and the more yourself you are, which is cliche, everyone knows it, like, be yourself, but but truly, like, how is someone gonna love you
if you don't love yourself?
Yep. But also, like, how is someone how is someone gonna love you if you don't even, like, know
who you are?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was know who you are.
Yeah. Like, and I think that's what it comes down to, is that people,
I feel like we're closer and closer getting into the relationship side of this.
Well, I don't know,
but a relationship could be romantic, it could be the other one, whatever that's called.
The other one. Wait, there's a word for it. It starts with a P. All right, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
What is that word? Okay, anyway. What I was going to say, I think about, like, if you think about middle school times and your middle school experience is a little different, or high school, there are all those people who are trying to fit in,
Yes.
right? A few people come to my head when I think about it, and you can tell that, you know, they want to be loved, they want to have friends, but you can also see that they're trying too hard, and you shouldn't have to try so hard.
Sometimes you gotta be like, what is missing is just be yourself.
It literally,
sometimes I want to like yell in someone's ear. I'm like, be you.
Exactly.
I was like, you're awesome. You're funny. Like, be authentic.
And you can't, like, people can help you figure out what you like and don't like about yourself, but you have to know before you go into any sort of, like, friendship or relationship. And, of course, like, when you're younger, elementary, middle school, it's a little different. Like, you're not thinking that deeply about it, but I think that this is an issue for a lot of high schoolers and a lot of middle schoolers and even college students. You know, they'll do anything to fit in, to be cool, even when, I mean, people are cool, but, like, if it doesn't come naturally to you and you feel like you have to force it, just find new friends. Like, at the end, like,
no, I'm sure
older people, and you never grow out of it. That's the thing. It's like, if you don't handle it, it's not going to just, like, disappear when you're, like, 50 years old, and, like, you're still going to be searching for something. When really, it's just right here in the heart.
It's right there. You just got to open it and dig around. I was thinking about...
Platonic. That's the word.
Oh, never heard that.
Romantic and platonic. Okay.
I think sometimes the idea of fitting in or, like, craving that friendship, that you'll do anything. And you'll compromise.
You'll do anything.
You'll compromise your values. You'll compromise what's important to you. And that's why I feel like this topic is so broad, because it's like friendships. But, like, what about friendships? Like, there is so much. Or relationships. Like, what is that?
We don't know.
And, yeah, like, I have definitely found myself compromising my own values, my own beliefs, to feel accepted. And sometimes it's subconsciously. Like, sometimes you don't even realize it, that you're not even being yourself, and you're like, hold up. You're like sleeping, and I'm like, did I really say that? I think the reason why I've let go of a lot of my friends from middle school is because we're just into completely different things, and that's okay. Like, I love seeing them on Instagram and on, you know, Snapchat stories and TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, like, you're still the same, like, awesome person, but unfortunately we just don't connect on that level anymore, and that's okay. And I feel like being okay with not connecting with someone is super important, and being okay knowing that it's not your fault or their fault, you just don't vibe.
Yeah.
And that just happens sometimes.
For sure. And, like, I feel like it's interesting because we're speaking from a girl's or a women's perspective, and something that I was talking to somebody about this the other day, but, like, boys or men are just so, like, they just let things go a lot easier. And, like,
oh my God, I've noticed that so
and
much.
like, I was hanging out with two of our guy friends, and they were arguing about something. And the way that they were talking to each other, like, if someone was speaking to me like that, like, I would literally not be their friend anymore.
Block.
But, like, at the end of the conversation, they're like, I'm tired, let's go to bed. And that was it. But, like, you would never see that with two girls. Like, I feel like I don't know what it is. I think it's probably just the way we're raised to, like, maintain these friendships. And, like, you want to love and care about.
Yeah, like norms are just, like, the way the world views women. That could be a factor. Yeah,
and I feel like, you know, you want to love and care about that person so much that sometimes you, like, when you feel like you can't do it, you're not honest with yourself. And I feel like, also feel as though people should, like, best friends have to be, like, literally, like, each other.
Right.
But you are both people. That, actually. And I feel like that is a result of how we were raised. Like, we talk about how, like, movies set unrealistic romantic relationship expectations, but I feel like they also kind of set those unrealistic friendships. Yeah. Like, think about Lily and Hannah from Hannah Montana. Like, that
Lily and Miley.
Oh, my bad. What? Lola and Hannah.
Lola and Hannah.
They were a dynamic duo. That's just one example, and it's a silly one, but I just feel like we have to have a best friend. We have to have that person. Get ready with them for dances, and all that stuff is fun. Like, I enjoyed all that stuff, but also, like, don't, it can be unrealistic for a lot of people.
No, and you end up letting yourself down,
Mm-hmm.
I think, when you have those expectations.
For
and I
sure.
think that is exactly why I was kind of like in like my saddy phase, was because I, like this 2-week period, I was just like, had these expectations, and then if people don't meet them, then I'm
Mhm.
like,
You're like, well, you're a bad friend.
I'm like, damn, no one loves me.
Yeah.
But that's
It's
not
just
it
not
at all.
true.
Exactly. And like, I was literally battling myself,
Mhm.
and I had to come out of that and be like, no, nothing's really changed except for my perception of it,
Mhm.
and except for my my like expectations. And I'm not saying set low expectations, you know what I
Like,
mean?
you should be treated right.
Yeah, no, but it's like,
But not-
exactly.
They're not Superwoman or Superman. Like,
Yeah.
They can't give you everything. And something I just thought of, those unrealistic expectations letting you down. When you have friends that you've grown up with,
Mhm.
like from whether that's middle school to high school to college, you can still remain friends, but that friendship's going to change.
Yes.
And that's something that I had to deal with my friends. We were super close in high school.
Yeah, I remember that.
When I got to college, we all went to different colleges.
Mhm.
And the friendship, it felt like our friendship, there's something wrong with our friendship, but what was
Mhm.
happening is that we were just changing as people.
Yeah.
And we're still friends now. After we figured that out, we realized we still want to be friends, but for a time it was like, oh, like,
Yeah.
am I not meant to
And
be
of
friends with
course,
these
you're not
people?
that 16-year-old girl
Exactly.
that listened to Uptown Funk,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
and would
I told you
dance
not
together.
to bring that up. Anyways, in the social center.
I know. No, but I definitely, I think that's where those expectations come in. I think that's where, like, you get down. It's just
Mhm.
like the friendship isn't where it used to be. And also, people get so busy. People get into relationships, romantic relationships. Like, things change.
Mhm.
Dude, having this conversation is literally a therapy session for
Literally.
me right now.
I'm like,
I am
write
like,
that down.
I am feeling good.
Aw, great.
Like, it's so much better to, like, think about it from a less boxed like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not in this box. Friendships aren't in a box. Again, like, there's no manual.
True.
And there's no manual to romantic relationship. Like, and then I think the other thing, even maybe a little going into that, I've had to learn this a lot, but you have to accept the way people are. There are things that you can talk about
True.
to better yourself, because obviously you want to keep growing, right?
Mhm.
But still, like, you can't keep trying to change people. And I've really had to learn that, and I had to look deep within and be humble and be like, Viv, you can't change that about a person. You just have to accept the way someone is.
Yeah.
And I think there's always room to grow, and, like, you have to be willing to grow for someone. And sometimes I think you have to be willing to change a little bit for someone else.
I agree.
Like, I think that's totally fine. It's not losing who you are, but also, like, if someone, a friend, a significant other, a parent, if they're like, you really need to work on this, it would really mean a lot to me, it's important to my values,
Mm-hmm.
then I would be willing to change for that. Not change to, like, not be me at all, but to the point where, honestly, everyone wants the best for you, right? So, like, if they're asking you to change, then it's for a reason.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I can do that. Like, I gotta be a little better here.
Yeah.
And that's where the humility comes in, because it's
True.
hard to, like, look within and be like, I have to change that about myself.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not, like you said, it's not an easy thing, but, like, you'll know if it's right. Like, if it's something that goes against everything you believe in, maybe you shouldn't change that way. But
Yeah.
if it's something that you think will make you a better, like, if you would want to see that in someone else, it's probably a good thing for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. So the moral of the story is just be a good friend.
Yes, I love that. Like, we hear that all the time. But
Yeah.
don't
wonder
rely
why.
on other people for your happiness. Well, Amanda, I'm so grateful that you took the time to come and talk to me.
Aw.
Want to get lunch after this?
Of course. What time is it?
I don't even know, like 12?
Yes.
Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what I want to be doing. I want to be talking about things that I think other people are also thinking about. And we don't have, like, this isn't us giving people a TED Talk. Like, I hope that's clear.
Yeah.
We're just conversing.
Yeah,
We're
we're
talking
having
it out.
fun.
We're having fun. We're just two girls living it up in college.
So if you're going to leave any hate comments, don't.
Exactly.
Or we're going to block you.
All right, guys. So
wait. let me say thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun, and I hope that I can come back and talk some more.
Oh, you will be coming back.
Oh,
we
every
have
day.
some different topics to talk about.
Ooh.
No, you got it all.
Aw, that's so nice.
You're perfect.
Your catch.
Okay,
That was
guys.
fun.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
See you
and
next time.
So we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you got something out of this. I definitely did. I'm gonna go do some reflecting after this and write in my journal.
I was just about to say that.
I might have to cut some people off.
At the blouse, just like looking over.
All right. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.